Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very special day. We are going to be exploring a zoo, and I know this is kind of weird. Why are you exploring a zoo? You have a Sims channel, but it is for a very good reason. Recently, there's been an overlap in, I guess, Sim tubers playing The Sims 4 as usual, and also a new game that came out. I think it came out this year or last year. It was released around that time, and it's a zoo simulator. It has a very good, it's been getting very good reviews, and I've saw the gameplay video. I really wanted to play it, and I had just a really bad laptop. It wasn't gonna run the game at all because the game is beautiful, it is gorgeous, but obviously you need the specs to handle that sort of thing. So I built a computer for the purpose of just playing this game. Obviously the computer now runs my Sims games super fast, so I anticipate making videos much more quickly. The software that I can use runs much faster now, and so it's all good. I'm sorry for sniffling. It's been yeah, I've been getting a little sick, but not really, not getting fully sick. Sorry about that. So yeah, in this game Planet Zoo, I want to play more of it, and then once I've started playing it, I've come to realize I don't. Maybe it would help to have some sort of understanding on how to build a zoo. And you know, in the game, I've already played it. Sorry, I wish I could have like recorded my first impressions, but in the game, there's a lot of, I mean, like any sort of like simulator game, there's a lot of things to think about, a lot of game mechanics you have to consider. So there's a lot to keep in mind, and I just thought, like, okay, like, part of this is learning the game, but also, you know, I can go out and do some actual research and see like the real life parallel between the game, you know, which is making your own zoo, running a zoo, having things in mind, and real life, like going to a real zoo. So that's what I did. So now we're gonna start my video where I kind of talk through my experiences at the zoo. We went to the San Francisco Zoo, which this was actually like on a vacation for me. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I did other stuff on my vacation, but the zoo was pretty much the highlight. I was really happy to be there. I've never been to this zoo. I've been to a lot of zoos, but not this one. Yeah, so the very first thing I'm going to show you is the entrance. Just because this is a very important part of the game. It's kind of, you know, where you start to set off your map, building this whole experience for your guests in the zoo. I understand I'm not really doing the game justice when I'm just talking about it off the cuff, but it's a really in-depth, well-built game. It's gorgeous. The graphics are amazing. So yeah, so just getting right into it. Something that I like about zoos is having an exhibit like right next to the entrance of the zoo. I mean, that's really cool. This exhibit wasn't even part of the entrance of the zoo, I guess. So there's a gate where you buy your tickets, and then there's another gate like some 300 feet away where you actually give them your tickets. So this was kind of like a pre-zoo zoo. Yeah, so one thing that I noticed about some of the enclosures in that area we were just in, it's the Africa enclosure, is that they put like a lot of foliage like behind some like chain link fences, I guess to make it look less I guess less bare, less like, oh, that's chain link, like, you know, it's creating more of an environment for you. Another thing I noticed here that we don't get in the game is a lot of these like vertical posts or barriers that keep animals from getting too close to people. There's also a lot of like foliage they use, like big like dead trees or leaves that keep the animals from basically wanting to go near people. I think that's smart. You know, you don't know what people will do to an animal when they get close enough, especially when, you know, this area isn't being watched very closely. So I think that's good. You know, you can still get a good view, and you're kind of protecting the animals from, you know, God knows who. Another thing, the education boards, I really like them. I wish they were bigger. I wish they had more information. But yeah, that last education board said something about how they really try to replicate the environment for the Africa exhibits, including adding heaters and stuff, and, you know, humidity and other kinds of, you know, good stuff that you actually get to do in the game as well. So that's really cool. The lemurs, those were super cute. Here's some more of that vertical like posting and barriers. Yeah, and I really like in this area how you can have a view of two different exhibits at the same time. That's so stinking cool. Sorry, this is going by really fast. I'm not really gonna edit this video well. Here's some more chain link fence. I wish, you know, I wish it was something a little more clear, maybe glass. But I imagine with chain link fencing, it's like, it's easier to maintain and replace. It's cheaper to do that rather than glass. It's probably a bigger, more construction style thing. Another thing that's really cool is they use fallen trees that, you know, that fall throughout the zoo, and they reuse them in the habitats. That's super cool. I kind of figured they would just, like, you know, buy whatever they need from wherever or source it from somewhere else, but, you know, naturally, like, some of the stuff, some of the things that grow in the zoo, it dies. And it's cool that they can reuse it. I think that's really nice. And they're just talking about the environments of the animals. Yeah, so you can see there's like a little water area right here that the zebra, it's not going to access because of the, like, the logs, like the fallen trees and stuff. I think that's it's kind of smart because I'm not sure how clean those waters are, but also it kind of adds to the environment for both the guests and the zebra without, you know, with keeping them safe at the same time too. So yeah, another thing you can do in the game is kind of mix animals in the same enclosure if they are enriched by one another. So I liked that I was able to see that here. I've been to other zoos where they don't really do that. They kind of isolate the animals. I think it's probably a lot nicer for the animals to be around their own, I guess, their own animals that are in their environment, like naturally in the wild. So that's really cool. So yeah, there was more foliage, like making its own barrier. Here, there's like a kind of moat style water thing. I don't know if that's a purpose, like if it's to prevent like flooding or if it's, you know, I have no idea. But I noticed that as well. Water kind of acts as a barrier. Pits, I've noticed, kind of act as a barrier. They don't want to, animals probably don't want to descend, especially a giraffe, don't want to descend too far down, and so they don't get too close to that. They don't want to fall or slip or anything. Here's some more chain link fencing. I think this barrier was kind of low and close, but this one wasn't as popular for some reason. So I think it's good. It's good to have different viewpoints too. I didn't realize how many kids go to the zoo. I mean, naturally, it's like a good place for kids to learn about animals, but I felt for the animals. It was a little stressful sometimes. Kids can be really loud. So yeah, with this gorilla, obviously there's not a lot of like open area to view them. They're very powerful animals, and you don't want to have them, I guess, like super close to the guests. But it was still really cool to see them. I was kind of surprised the condition of like the glass and stuff at this zoo. I've been to other zoos where like they're super like scratched up and faded, and you can barely make out the animal, especially when they're not up close. So I really liked how clear this was. Yeah, just high cement walls and everything. I really wish it could be prettier for them, but if you put anything on the walls like mines or something, they're probably gonna climb up it, and Yeah, that's an escape right there. Yeah, see, that gorilla was climbing up those rocks pretty quickly, so I was like, okay, yeah, that's probably why they don't have a lot of structures near the walls. It's kind of, it doesn't look the nicest, but obviously that's what you have to do to contain the animals and to just restrict them to their enclosure. So yeah, and that's for the safety of them, yeah, as well. Another thing about this place is there's a lot of viewpoints. I think the gorilla exhibit had the most viewpoints, like 5 or 6 or something. So yeah, I don't know if this is sufficient space for them. I haven't played the gorillas in my zoo on Planet Zoo, because it does tell you how much space the animal needs, and that can increase when you add more animals of that species to the enclosure. So I can't be sure, but you know, I saw some enrichment animals in there too. This one, it was really nice. There was more, I really liked like the foliage around this sign, and it's kind of, I guess, like cascading over the barrier, which is the glass right here. So I thought that was really nice. You can kind of see my face over there. Hi guys. But overall, yeah, there's a lot of coverage here. Kind of wish it was a little more cleared out for a better vision, but maybe just mandrills prefer that. I have no idea. This is one of the only exhibits that had like those full mesh kind of barriers where they're like top to bottom covered, because these are very, you know, smart animals that can climb very well. This was the otters. I think this is the otters exhibit. A lot of glass. Obviously they're probably not going to be able to climb the glass, especially after being in the water. I like this whole moat style thing. They have a platform in the middle. They were hiding. Overall, yeah, this was a good one. Yeah, this is probably my favorite part of the zoo. It's a penguin exhibit right in the middle of all these other exhibits that you can see on the left side and the right side and behind you and forward. This was probably the closest we can get to any animal. It was like a waist high chain link mesh kind of barrier, and yeah, it was really nice. And I don't know if this helped the environment, but there was like these beams next to the part of the barrier was actually really cold, and I don't know if that actually contributed to keeping the area very cold for these penguins. I think these are South American penguins. But yeah, and then here is the obvious tiger. Obviously they're crazy predators, and you gotta keep a big barrier from them. That's my face again. So yeah, it was pretty nice. I did think this was kind of small. Like, this looks pretty small to me. I mean, he probably has room inside, but this one had me worried. I was like, no, I'm sure they've thought a lot about, you know, how they're gonna keep, how much room to allocate room. And then there was just a bunch of peacock walking around too, so that was cool. No barrier for that. This leopard had 2 different like areas. One was closed off like in this glass area, and then the other side, which I don't think I recorded, is kind of like that same mesh that we saw earlier. Here's another view of the penguins. They have mostly water, and then an island in the middle. That's really smart to protect the penguins from other people trying to touch them or whatever. Yeah, and then this is like the eating areas, and which I think in the game it's kind of, there's no point. Yeah, I really like this anteater enclosure because I love that little hole in the wall that's the shape of the anteater. I thought that's really smart and perfect. Yeah, there's a lot of toys. He had a lot of toys, I guess, because he's alone. I don't know if he's supposed to be alone or not, but he's alone. And there's this really cool contraption that throws food out in different places and locations to simulate, I guess, like hunting for your food. I thought that was really cool. And that's really sweet that they have thought of that for them. There's another random enclosure. This is more like what my enclosures look like in my game. They're kind of rounded, full view all around, kind of typical zoo style. I don't know. I'm sure there's like a name for it. I think this was the beginning of the bear enclosure. It's like their water, and I think they had a lot of room. So yeah, there's one here. I really like the whole glass set in stone look. I mean, visually it's really appealing. The glass was pretty clear. It just probably needs to be cleaned, like on the outside, but it was pretty clear. And so yeah, I was able to get a good look at them. They're so cute. They're just like sunbathing. Yeah, so I really like those rocks. You know, I really wish I knew if these rocks were real or fake. I wish I knew. Another thing, you know, this barrier, I really like this one. I feel like it was kind of far away from the wolves, but you know, whatever. My issue I had was, it said, you know, please refrain from howling at the wolves, but over to the left of us there were like 5 people howling at the wolves, and it's like, oh my god, why would you do that? But whatever. This is I think he's a seal. Yeah. I really like this one. I mean, it's mostly water, I imagine, because that's how they get most of their exercise, is swimming around. Yeah, and then I think at some point he hopped up. Oh, this is the like tropical rainforest room. It had like 2 like big doors. I think that's to like keep in the humidity. It was so humid in this room. Like my glasses were fogging up. But I imagine that's like the perfect temperature for these kind of animals. So there was a sloth. There was a few macaws. I didn't get a lot of video in here just because I was trying to share the space with everyone else and let everyone look. But there was a lot of plants in here, a lot of trees and foliage, everything. Really, I think that's for their environment. This is the Australia exhibit. It was kind of sad, kind of dead, but you know. This is the red pandas. Obviously, they're really big climbers. You know, in the game, red pandas can swim. I mean, they can't swim, but in real life they can. These are the exhibits, which was my favorite part, but I don't want to scare you guys with a bunch of creepy crawly stuff. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you pick something up to learn from your game. I know I did. And yeah, I can't wait till I can start uploading videos. I'm working on getting everything together, but I'm so excited. But anyways, if you can like this video, that would be great. If you like watching these videos, you should subscribe to me. I don't, you know, post videos that often, I won't lie, but I want to, you know, that's how we get started in this thing, is posting videos, and we can. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.